up, y'all? Happy Tasty Tuesday. Whiskey friends far and wide, we are live. Decided to start the show out today. Little shout out, tribute to the Rolling Stones. If you've seen the news today, the drummer of the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watts, died at 80. He was their drummer for upwards of 5 years. So having a little bit of a toast to him and all the great music that he was part of for so long. Love me some Stones. So cheers, rest in peace, Charlie. We got 2 hours of whiskey chat coming tonight, y'all. And I got 2 whiskeys I've had sitting on my shelf for honestly quite some time. And I have not had the opportunity to open for this or that reason. And so tonight's going to be the night that we do that. We're going to talk about those in just a second. But before we do that, your humble malt user, as always, will say hello to the early birds here in the chat. Who do we got in first in the door tonight? It's East Texas. Daniel, Dark Origins, let's go. One of my favorite HPs, Highland Park. All right. I am excited for that as well. Jupiter, Florida, in Gerbic. Happy Tuesday to you, sir. Looks like y'all were chatting it up for a little bit, talking about your 98 degrees in Texas. We had a heat index of 108 here today in Chicago. Finally, just before the show started here, we got a rainstorm in, which is cooling things down, which is very needed. Yeah, what is everybody drinking on tonight? What's everybody got in the glass? I'm starting off with the Glengoyne 12, which I've been sipping on a little bit here tonight so far. Excuse me just a sec. And enjoying it quite a bit. What about y'all? Gerbic's Bush Light. There you go, buddy. That's one way to do it. But he has a new whiskey, Glen Grant 15. Oh, that's the cast strength version, if I'm not mistaken. That'll be a good one. Very Florida of you, it says Daniel. Good stuff. California's in the house. Donner Pass whiskey. He has an HP Dark Origins to drink along with. All right, cool. And he hopes to run into another dusty one. Yeah, definitely. That is not an easy one to find. We're going to chat all about that in a little bit. Yeah, it was discontinued years ago. But there's still some around. That's always the case, at least for a little while. What else is going on? Donner Pass has got a Maltman Altmore 12 Sherry Hogshead at 53.2. Daniel, Ardbeg 10. Nice. Gerbic's got his Bush Light. Altmore fanboy. Okay. Right on. IC86 is in the house, coming from the burbs of Atlanta, Georgia. How are you, sir? To you. New Jersey, it's Andrew Page. Glen Grant and Altmore are blind spots. Yeah, they're not distilleries that I'm incredibly familiar with. I've had the 12 and the 18 Glen Grant. The 18 is good. I have a psychotic cat running around here right now. Winston, what's going on, man? You good? The storm's getting them all crazy. The Glen Grant 18 is pretty good. I don't know if it's like a must-have, but it's quite good. Altmore, I've only had the 12, but I've heard mixed things about some of their other stuff. But happy to be convinced otherwise. Chris S is in the house. Chris, how you doing? Yeah, I hear you on the thunderstorms. Where are you joining us from again? Fire smoke cleared. All right, good deal, man. Rest in peace, Charlie. Indeed, man. Indeed. Paul, happy Tasty Tuesday to you, sir. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Good to have you in the house. We got 13 folks in. SoCal. It's Cohen. How you doing, man? How are things in Southern California? Ontario's here. Peter White. Only 104. And oh, God. You guys were probably wearing your winter jackets. Russell's Reserve Single Barrel Rye. That's an excellent pour. Oh, yeah, the Bodega. Yeah, that's one you got to get. Hang on a second, Joe. Get out of there. Fucker. Dude is crazy right now. All right, sorry about that. London, it's James Morgan. How you doing, buddy? We got some heavy storms coming. They should hit you in about 10 hours. King of Prussia, it's Tony, man. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. My former PA neighbor. How are you, man? Great to see you. Thanks for swinging in. Folks saying hi to each other. Okay, great. Well, we got 12 folks in already right now, which is awesome. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So, Telex the Whiskey Tech is out. He's on family vacation. Whereabouts unknown, but he's out doing his thing. So in the meantime, I'm going to hold down the fort. We're going to do 2 hours happy hour tonight, God willing. Hopefully my power stays on, or we'll be doing it in the dark. I got 2 whiskeys that I've been meaning to open for quite some time, and for this or that reason, they've just been kind of, left on the wayside. And when I moved in here, they got kind of pushed back on the shelf, and I honestly sort of forgot about them. And when I was thinking about what I was going to do for the show tonight, I was like, I want to open something new. We'll do an uncorking, make it fun. And I came across these 2 that I kind of forgot about. So we are going to do the Aberlower Abuna Alba. This is a cask strength from the Abuna line. Abuna means original. The Alba has to do with part of the name of the American oak. It's this is a bourbon cask strength Aberlour. Yes, you heard that right. No sherry in this. This is a cask strength, unchill filtered, 57.1%, non-age statement, fully matured in bourbon cask, Aberlour. So this is a thing that exists in the world. This is the first batch of it. We're going to open this bad boy up shortly. This is what we're looking at. So we got that coming. In the second hour, I got another one. This one I have been really excited about, and I think I got to do this one second because it's going to probably be, despite lower ABV, the sherry in it is going to really take this to the next level. So this is the Highland Park Dark Origins. I have not done a Highland Park in quite some time. This one is bottled at 46.8%. It says non-chill filtered right on the front, which is awesome and kind of surprising. Double first fill sherry casks for a naturally darker, richer flavor is what they have to say. So this is like a sherry bomb, I think. I don't know. You can't see this stuff because it's in a solid black bottle. I am unclear how available this is in the U.S. This is a UK purchase. I can tell it's got the little sticker on it. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but we're going to talk about this right at the top of at 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central. So we're going to put this one aside for the moment. And first we're going to talk and try this Aberlour Alba. Abuna Alba. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so here we go. I'm not going to waste any time with this. So as I said, for folks who've been fans of the show for a while, we've been chatting a lot about whiskey. I don't love Aberlour. Many years ago, I bought an Aberlour 16, which I thought was one of the more disappointing whiskeys I'd ever had. For the price and the age statement, it was very thin, watery, lacked any kind of body or complexity. It was just a real bummer. So I stayed off Aberlour for a very long time until one day, this must have been a couple months back now, where I stumbled across a bottle of the Abuna. It was like a batch 60 sitting all by its lonesome on a shelf. And I decided to grab it. It was at a good price and was quite happy with it. So I liked that one quite a bit. This one is something that I think is relatively new. I think this came out either late last year. I don't think it was this year. I think this came out last year. They started doing a cask strength bourbon cask, and that's what this one is. This one you can find in the States. It's around anywhere from about $90, give or take. So, not cheap. 57.1%. It is non-chill filtered, which they say on here, which is great. And it's cask strength. No age statement. What else is there to say about this? Let me know in the chat if anybody has had this before. I'm really quite unsure what to expect out of this, to be honest with you. I've never had anything that's bourbon cask from Aberlour. This is the bottle. I mean, as you can see, this is not a sherry whiskey. Probably has had some color added to it. But there it is. The label here says, yeah, matured in bourbon oak. Abuna Alba, this is batch 1. 57.1% or 114.2 proof for Americans. Yeah, that's it. They don't say much, so let's check it out. And yeah, let me know in the chat if any of y'all have seen this before, or wow, they don't make this easy to open. Or if you haven't, if you've seen it on the shelves anywhere in your necks of the woods. And we'll find out if this is worth getting. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this open because this is really, really thick wax on here, and they don't have like a thing to pull. So there we go. There we go. Jeez, man, don't make it too easy for me to try your whiskey. All right. Pretty weak pop. Okay, let's get this in the glass. I'm going to let this sit for just a second. And while it does that, I will catch up on the chat, see how everybody's doing. We've got a couple other folks that looks that have joined us. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this, but I'll tell you, I mean, this is mostly prompted by the fact that I really need to expand my collection of just kind of bourbon cask scotches. I'm finding that like either all of my scotches are sherry, or I'm finding them to have like they're like bourbon cask, but they're peated. Like I needed just a nice straight bourbon cask. I only had a couple, so let's see who's jumped in the house. Oh, Chris is in Moline, Illinois. Okay, so you're not far from me. South of Moline. Okay, cool. Good to know. 13 Ben Nevis sherry butt in the glass. Cohen's not playing. Trooper, how you doing, man? Are you out in the Gulf on the rig, or are you on land somewhere? We're doing 2 reviews tonight. We're uncorking the Aberlower Abuna Alba and the Highland Park Dark Origins. So we're going to check out both of these. You had either? All right, folks chatting Van Nevis. Not had this one, he says. Okay. Phil and Deepa really like Aberlour Blind when they reviewed it. Good to know, good to know. Tony, I have a bottle of that, Eric. Don't know what batch it is. Got it last year. It's good. Okay, so this was a last year. I have to go back and try it again. You're talking about this Aberlour. Okay. Last Aberlour I had was the Abuna batch 49. Do you have a batch 53 on it? But so that's the sherry version. Okay, got it. Good deal, good deal. Oh. I would say you go the 19 single cask bourbon, probably because that way you're not overloading too much sherry on your palate right away. Aaron Hardman, how you doing, Aaron? Good to see you. Thanks for swinging in. IC86 has got some classic Lottie in the glass. There you go. About to the Alba. Might want to type that one again, buddy. I'm not quite sure what you meant there. Still on land. Okay. Balcones cast strength. Nice. All right. Cool, y'all. Okay, so here we go. Aberlour Abuna Alba. Cast strength, bourbon cask, non-chill filtered. This is what the color looks like. I mean, I don't know. Who knows how old this actually is? It's a non-age statement, but ooh. Prickly for sure. Oh, you're pouring the Alba. Okay. So there is a citrus sharpness on top of this. That's what you get right away. But right beneath it, there's some really nice, sweet, kind of sugary confectionery notes. Vanilla, like powdered sugar. There's like a warm kind of caramel or toffee type thing. But it's just really, really sharp. Can't really put your nose all the way in this one. Honey. Yeah, this nose is tough because it's really intense. Like this kind of sharp alcohol or almost like a citrus note is really intense on here. There's some apple and pear, cinnamon, but oh, whew. Yeah, this is going to need water. Well, let's just go straight to the taste. I honestly can't give you much on the nose here. This nose is pretty inaccessible right out of the bottle. Happy Tasty Tuesday, y'all. Slunch. Wow, that is hot. Woo! This is really, really hot. There was a lot of good flavor in there on the palate. I was excited about it, but the heat of this whiskey hit so hard that it kind of just evaporated everything. I really couldn't get much out. I really couldn't get enough of it before it was just overtaken by heat. Again, this is 57.1%. This is batch one of the Aberlower Abuna Alba. Wow, that is so hot. I'm gonna need to water this down to see if we can actually get anything out of this. This is, of course, a neck pour, and so there's not been a lot of oxidization on this, but man, this is just very, very hot. I'm gonna do 3-4 drops of water in here. Just see what else we can see if we can get access this whiskey a little bit, y'all. Much better. Still got some, but it's tamed it down. There's some really nice oak. Very nice oak notes. It's giving it a nice kind of rich spiciness. I actually think I'm going to do a little bit more water, y'all. 4 drops is not enough. This is still really, really prickly. I'm going to go to 6 drops. Bring this down. Wow. Here we go. Lemon lime. There's some really, really nice, as I said, there's these nice kind of oak notes, almost like fresh cut wood. There's a beautiful vanilla note in here, caramel. It's light. It's intense but light. It doesn't have those very dark bourbon cask notes that you would expect on like a high proof bourbon per se. This is much more, it's much lighter, which of course in part due to the barley nature of this as opposed to corn. All right. The nose is still kind of whatever. Nothing really to write home about. But I did get some traces of a delicious whiskey under here before that heat came in when I did it neat. So let's try it again. This is good. Really rich. It arrives really rich. Honey coated apple. There's a nice kind of vanilla and almost like almond marzipan or whatever, something like that. There's some chocolate, white chocolate, milk chocolate. It is really heavy and intense flavor, but pretty light on the palate. But you get this heavy heat kind of at the end of the development. This is a must add water to, no doubt. especially when you open it first. The finish, though, extended a bit more, and it really bringing out some interesting complexities that I really couldn't find at all earlier in this. I'm getting a nice, I mean, these are not going to surprise you, but there's a nice roasted, kind of like a roasted coffee bean, milk chocolate covered raisins, maybe, raw honey. It's nice. It's got a lot of good flavor. It's just very hot. And again, this doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You know, the fact that you would buy a bottle like this, like I said, this is about $90 USD. You can water this down to what you want it to be, you know, so you're getting a lot of good value. It doesn't have a ton of depth. I think a lot of these flavors, you get kind of hit with them, and they're very bright and bold, but there's not a lot of like depth to explore here so far. I'm going to do a little bit more. Let me know in the chat if anybody here has had the Abuna Alba before and what you think about it. This is batch 1. There's like a buttercream, like fresh butter, like you walked into a cake store, and it's got that kind of frosting smell in the air, like an ice cream shop. Apple cinnamon. Apples drenched in like cinnamon and caramel. The initial palate on this is really where it's at. The nose getting better, but boy, at the back end of the palate before it goes into the finish, there's just a lot of heat here. There's so much going on. I just wish this wasn't so damn hot. I mean, this has got 6 drops on it at 57, so this has been brought down to sub 50 probably. And it's still just a lot of heat. This one is going to be interesting to see what oxygen does to this in the bottle, but I don't know. There's things I really like about this. It's like when you hear a good band and it's their earliest stuff and you can hear the makings of a great album, but they're not quite there yet. That's what this is like. There are just like hints of flavor, particularly when it as it develops, that you're like, oh man, this could be really good, and then but it's so rough and hot, or but you know, the nose is kind of muted. I'm going to be really interested to see how this opens up. But I think we're going to give it a little bit more time before I start talking about what I scores or anything. But do let me know in the chat if anybody has had this before. And if you thought this was just like one of the hottest whiskeys you've ever had. It's a curious one, right? I mean, Aberlour is not a distillery that I really go to ever. I had my first Abuna sherry 4 or 5 months ago, and that's the first one I bought in years, ever since I had sadly bought the Aberlour 16, which was a very big disappointment. I was curious about this bourbon cask because, like I was mentioning in the onset, I need some more just straight up scotches aged in bourbon that aren't peated. And I thought, hell, the Abuna is good enough. Let's give this a shot. This is going to be fun to review in like 3 months, because I feel like there's going to be something good here. It's just too hot. It's just too hot. I'm actually going to go, screw it. We're going to go a little bit more. I'm going to do 3 more drops, or 4 more. We're going to bring it down 10 drops of water. And again, these are just like tiny drops, as you can see here. I mean, this is just like little tiny drops. So I've probably put at least 3 teaspoons on here now. Still, the nose is very inaccessible because of the heat. God damn. Very sweet. Very heavy flavor. A lot to like on the palate. It's fruity. There's even like hints of some tropical fruit in here. But then again, the heat, which has finally become palatable at 10 drops of water here. I still feel like it leaves you wanting a little bit. I wish this was a bit richer on the back end. The event kind of fades quick. You do get a nice enough finish. It's subtle. So these are around $90 here in the US. I don't know if there are any other batches. So if anybody knows, let me know in the chat. I'm not quite sure what to make of this. I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting more. Abuna, the regular Abuna, I can drink out of the glass neat at like 60%. It's got some heat, but nothing like this. This is way hotter. And there's no particular reason that should be the case, other than maybe this is aged even less, but who knows? None of the notes in this imply age. Now, with a sherry cask that's an NAS, one way you can get at least your bearings on whether or not there's some age to it is if you notice that it's more kind of juicier red fruits, or if they're drier. The drier, the sherry notes, can give you an indication that there's some older stuff in there. Why? Because it's been oxidizing longer in the barrel. This, I'm guessing this is a first fill, because it's got that first fill flavor to it, and it doesn't have much in the way of age. It doesn't taste like a dusty older bourbon. I'm looking on here now just to see if they say anything. It says it's full of intense flavors in every single drop. Well, they're not lying about that. It just says it's in barrels of American oak, known as Quercus alba, right, which is the whatever name. Infuse the sweet flavors into their Abuna. Yeah, it doesn't say. I'm not surprised. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think there's something here, but if it was just straight out of the bottle and you poured this out to some folks, I don't think there's anything to write home about here. 275 is probably where I'd go. I really love the arrival on this. It's just wish everything else would come together. Prelim scores 275, but we'll see. I'll check this out in a couple months. Let me know in the chat, though, if you think about this, if anybody else was really impressed here. I'm really surprised at how much lemon I'm getting on this. There's a lot of citrus in this whiskey. Like, more citrus than you would expect in a bourbon cask of this like, it's just, I mean, citrus is kind of shows up in bourbon casks somewhat regularly, but the level of it here is just huge. I think $90 is $90 is pulling is asking a lot. I think there's an argument to be made that a whiskey should be good right out of the bottle, and if that's the case, I mean, I don't think that this one really stands up. I think most folks would kind of be a little put off by this, just because of the heat. So yeah, I'll sit around 275 for now. Anyways, so there you go, Aberlour Abuna Alba. I'm going to be excited not to have to say that anymore. Let me know in the chat if any of you have had that. We got 19 folks in, which is awesome. Great to see everybody. We are going 2 hours tonight. Telex is my normal Tuesday night whiskey tasting partner is out on family vacation. So I'm going to hold down the fort. In hour 2 tonight, as I've mentioned, I'm going to uncork another bottle. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while that needs some attention, and that is the Highland Park Dark Origins. So we'll be checking that one out in about 30 minutes. In the meantime, let me say hello and check up on everything else going on here in the chat. Welsh Toro's here. How are you, Welsh Toro? Great to see you, man. Andrew Page asking natural color. It does not indicate natural color, so tough to say. I'm going to guess no. It does say it is non-chill filtered, though, that's good. Daniel says it is natural color. Okay, maybe it is. I'm not sure. I just don't see it anywhere out here. Abuna sherry whiskey's up to 20 years old. Not sure the age of this. Definitely calms down with time and water, Eric. Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. But again, I mean, I've only had one batch of the sherry, really, and I could drink that right out of the bottle. I wasn't this put away. It famously takes water, says Welsh Toro. Yeah. I think a lot of water is not only necessary, or recommended, but required for this one. IC86 heading out for a minute. Cool. We'll see you back. Yeah, bourbon cask. Bimber. Yeah, that makes about sense. Makes sense. Remedy's usually good on their prices, and then it just depends if you got to get it shipped. Their shipping can be a little pricey, but it's not too bad. You'll still come out ahead. Cohen says he thinks the Alba's first fill bourbon. That makes sense. I feel like this has some of those notes to it. I'm going to guess you're not the only person in this chat that would say the same thing, buddy. Aaron Hardiman talking to Donner. Hey, Vancouver area. It's Indy. What's up? Canadian crew in the house. Entire Aberlour range is way overpriced these days. The 10 is... I 100% agree with you. I wouldn't buy any of them. I don't think they're really that good. The Abuna is solid. I enjoy that. I had bought the 16-year-old way back when and was really disappointed in that. I don't have any use for the 12. They're all 40%. I think their 18 might even be 40% or just 43, but the 16 is 40%. It's really just... I've heard Alba is fiery and hopping many people. Okay, well, there you go. Then I'm not crazy. Yeah, this is hot as hell. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I've already bought it, so you make the decision for yourself about this one. As I said, I'll do a review of it and post it up in a couple, probably at least a month or two. I got to get my bearings with this. It's just a little bit. It's just a bit hot. It's a bit raw. It's a bit intense not in the ways that we necessarily brings together a fully great experience. Alongside. Can't see the point of bourbon Aberlour. Sherry's in its DNA. Yeah, right. I don't know if they have anything else that's bourbon or even has bourbon in it other than this. I don't know. Yeah, Peter. Good point, man. Good point. Mr. White makes a good point there. It definitely starts out hot, does mellow, but it always need water. I'm still very much a fan. Good to know. Hey, Ben Demon Hunter, Alberta, Canada. Oh, not much. We are just having a couple sips, and great to have you. Of Aberlour, Alba. The AAA. Oh, hell yeah, man. Privateer. You wouldn't buy it again, huh? Single cask called Seance. Privateer is overrated. Interesting. I have a bottle of. Oh, which one is it? Oh, here it is. This is the one that I have, Cohen. This is also a single cask. This is the Privateer Queen's Share. So for folks who know, Privateer is a rum that comes out of New England. What was that again? Yes, New England. Massachusetts, to be completely honest. I liked this one. It's an American rum. It's 54.2%. Not bad. It was a little on the pricey side, but not bad stuff. Haven't had Abuna since batch 61 years ago. It was good back then. Yeah. Lemon lime pears, Twinkies. Yeah. Wow. Half the way down, it's still out, he says. Yeah, it sounds like it. Had a plantation rum recently that was really good. Would love to try the Aaron finished one. Oh, nice. I didn't know they had an Aaron finished one. Those plantation single casks are good. I have one that's finished in Kilhoman, which I thought was really cool. James Morgan says Glenlivet Najura doesn't register hot at all. It might be first fill American oak for you. Yeah, I haven't. I've only had the sherry Najura, not the bourbon. So might be worth checking out. All right, it's more honeyed. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that seems about right. I think there's not. I mean, that seems to be like kind of right in the range that we normally see it for here. It's like within that. I mean, I see it over 100 US sometimes, so that's actually might be a little bit cheaper. Cheers, IC86. Appreciate that like, man. Thank you so much. Zan, how are you? Yeah, everything is going better. Yeah, if you didn't catch Telex, I don't know. That old Polney 18 was a real disappointment. It is going better, but not completely better. I mean, I just did an uncorking of this I'm not going to say it again. Aberlower Abuna Alba cask strength bourbon cask Aberlower. That is, it's all right. It's not bad, but it's really hot out the gate. So. That's funny. Never had HP Origins. Yeah, I'm curious about that one as well. We'll be getting in that in about 20 minutes. Yeah. Really? All right. Quick size drama, the Dark Origins. Excellent, y'all. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting into that. Mooching is Aberlour. What you got in the glass there, Ben? Man, I'm going to tell you something. If they released this at like 48%, with I think this would be a really good whiskey. It's just too damn hot. And even with the amount of water you're putting in here, it just is not killing this heat enough, at least. Fuck it. All right. This has got to be now at least close to a tablespoon of water has been added to this totally. If this doesn't kill the heat, then I swear I'll dump this bottle down the drain if it doesn't. Now there's not much nose because I put too much water on it. All right, let's just give it a taste. Screw it. Oh yeah, no heat now. Drying, woody, much. It's honestly better. It's honestly better with like 7 gallons of water in it. Chocolatey, vanilla, cocoa powder on like a biscuit or like a scone or something like that. It's actually pretty good. All right. Butterscotch too. It's still kind of rich. It still is holding together its core like texture, despite me just dumping a ton of water in it. Probably didn't need that much, but it's not bad. This is going to be probably one of the more interesting ones to sit down and do a review of. Abuna Alba. All right. Welsh Toro said this famously takes water. He is not kidding. Not kidding at all. As crazy as this sounds, I think this was better after I dumped that much water on it than it was even when I had 10 drops on it. That is a lot of water. That's a good point. It doesn't seem to be. I'm not sure how popular their distillery is or what their actual output is. Like, when I knew nothing about Scotch, I don't recall knowing the name of that distillery. It's like, Macallan, Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, some of the blends, maybe Balvenie. I don't recall knowing Aberlower. And so I do wonder if their marketing is actually working for them or not. Whiskey Nose, one of the best avatars ever. Good to have you in the house, buddy. It is not even. Oh, yeah. I get why you would expect it with the water. Yeah, it's not. Even with all that water, it wasn't bitter. It was a little oakier, but still very much in the range of maintaining its sweetness and kind of caramel complexity. Yes, 100%. Somebody get them on the horn. You're not. Yeah, I have no disagreement with you there, brother. Hey, man, sometimes you got to drown it in order to save it, right? And I think that's what I might have just done. Too funny, Peter. That's not a bad idea. I have a decanter too that I'm not using. I could decant this. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Paul. Combination blend of that Wayne Gretzky number 99 red cask with a Teacher's peated Highland cream, the local 5-finger fruit punch, moonshine from Alberta. What? Damn, Ben. That sounds like quite the concoction you have going there. I hope you are able to stay upright. With the Richard Patterson water pour down to 30%. Please don't. He went and Ralphie the Alba. Ralphie probably would do the same thing. You're right. It was Marty. Hey, Marty. Pernod Ricard. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Maybe. Maybe I'll throw that one in there. We'll see. I got to pull that together soon. Anyways, we got 15 folks in, which is awesome. I am going to just pour something kind of that I think is a better whiskey and get my palate ready for this Highland Park. Glengoyne 12. Glengoyne 12 is fantastic. I mean, it's nothing special, but for the price, it's a really good whiskey. I recommend it, y'all. I recommend it. And if you want to learn more about it, keep an eye on my channel, because tomorrow, if you are on Patreon, you will get early access to the Glengoyne 12 review, which I did earlier today. And for everybody else, it will be on Friday. And I think it's worth checking out. I quite like this whiskey. This has got sherry, and it has and it has bourbon. This, I'm not going to say too much about it, but check out my review on Friday. Affordable whiskey, good stuff. And you know, I'm back and forth on Glengoyne. I'm sure many of you aren't like Glengoyne, you know, super fans or anything like that. Good call. It's surprisingly not. Maybe another reason why I think this is quite a good whiskey. It's rich. I mean, for a Glengoyne too. That's a good pour. Can't really go wrong. You're 100% right on that. The Dourly's 12, the Dourly's 12, which is like a $25 bottle, yeah, is from the guy who runs Foursquare. Yeah, it's only 40%, but you can taste some of the quality in that. Why would you buy any other rums in that $20 range other than that for a bourbon cask rum? I'm just not sure there's any reason to buy any other. Yeah, the seal is good too, but yeah, this, you know, same guy. I 100% agree with you, man. Dourly's is awesome. I recommend that to everybody when I tell them about getting a good quality rum at a good price. This is true. That's what they say. 100% agree. And honestly, it is one of these nice pours that it has just enough flavor and richness and like just easy drinking. It's 43%, which I think is great. It just works out, man. It's one of these that you can like just pour in the glass when you're not sure what you want. Just a simple, decent scotch. It's good. That's all I can say about it. It's good. Unhurried, yeah. That's their whole thing. I have not seen it here yet in Chicago, but I will be buying that as soon as I do. Lucky enough to buy Glengoyne 25. It was very, very good. The only bottle that outshined the Glendronach 20 single class PX. That Glengoyne 25 is killer. 48%, I think. I have a bottle of it up there. I don't drink it often. It's kind of a special occasion whiskey for me. That stuff is great, man. It's become crazy priced. I got mine actually here in the U.S. shortly before the price went through the roof. I think they're close to $500 now, $450, $500, which is just so much. Is what it is. Great stuff, though, no doubt. Sipping the Shelter Point 10 cask strength. That sounds awesome. Hell yeah, Peter White. Completely agree with you on that. You want a nice bourbon cask, quality rum for what, 20-some dollars here in the U.S.? Dourly's, 12. It's the only way to fly. Lineage. Nice pour. Quig sent me like a pile of Shelter Points, as you all saw. Winston, what are you doing now? Come here. Oh, stop it. Come up here. You need to chill a little bit. It's been a little rambunctious in this storm. Food Quick sent me a whole bunch. All right, you gonna be like this, dude? Yeah, let go of me, fucker. Go. It's a rowdy bastard tonight. Food Quick sent me a bunch of those Shelter Points, and I think we tasted a few. They were fantastic. I would love to be able to get a whole bottle of some of that one of these days, but that's not an easy thing to do here in the United States. All right. I'm not sure. Ever had the Alba and not stuck with it or moved on to Pete? You got me excited for what's going to come from this Alba, man. I got to say. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, even better. That'll be amazing. Gary, San Francisco Bay Area. What's up in Northern California? You got two at $2.99. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, those were the days, right? Now they're what, $4.29, something like that. Yeah, really good stuff. Did I send you that? I don't know if I did or not. I do have some left. It is expensive, but I know the price is going up on that too, so you know how it is. Yeah, $3.80. I mean, Canadian, right? Jack Daniel's casks. Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen it. They didn't do one last year. I don't know if they do a teapot dram every. It doesn't seem like it's an every year thing. It's like they kind of just do it when they want. I have not seen the any news on the batch 8 yet, and the batch 7 was 2019 for sure. So that's correct. Now there are some shops you can buy it online. Whiskey International online or Whiskey World. Will ship to the U.S. and you can get it there, and it's probably like $150 or something like that, plus the shipping that you got to pay for it. Yeah, yeah, he's kind of ornery tonight, so apparently we're not going to get too much of his best self. Cheers. Yeah, going 12, man. Who's going? You have Tam Do around. Yeah. So in other words, the Shelter Point 10 cast strength is the doppelganger to the Aberlower Alba. Gotta love it. Yeah, Gary always sneaks in, man. He just comes in and drops some knowledge. It's the way Gary rolls. I was from Alan the Whiskey Friend. Cool. Oh, even more expensive. God damn. Well, it's the way things are these days. Looks like we're getting another round of storms coming in here in Chicago. All right, y'all. We got 15 folks in about 5 minutes in perfect timing to this dark storm coming in. We're going to be doing some dark origins. Folks saying hi to Gary. I would too. Yeah, I will too. All right. Anyways, we are going to do a second hour. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Telex, the whiskey technician, he's out on family vacation. So I'm going to hold things down, and I'm just doing 2 bottles that I've had sitting here for a while, and I wanted to uncork them and share them with you all as we chat about whiskey. So I'm doing a 2-hour live tonight. If you haven't yet and you want to smash that thumbs up, I appreciate it. And if you haven't subbed, I would love to get your subscription, because I'm over that 900 mark now, which is super cool, which means I'm getting close to that 1,000. We'll get there probably in a couple, I don't know, who knows, month, 2, something like that. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But if you haven't yet and want to subscribe, that would be awesome. I do appreciate the support in any way you can give it. But mostly this is just about the whiskey. So let's keep it as focused on that as possible and housekeeping to a minimum. All right. I'm going to finish up this Glengoyne 12. I got a freshie here for the Dark Origins. So I'm going to just wait until the top of the hour. We'll give it the extra 3 minutes. And if my power goes out, we'll have to do this by candlelight, because I have a feeling, based on the wind and noise I'm hearing outside, that may be what's coming our way. I'll get my camping headlight. We can just do it like that. Anyways, Ben Demon Hunter saying Highland Park Dark Origins probably my top 3, 100% in his top 5 bottles that I'd love to find. Wow, that's a lot of praise. That's good to know. Yeah, dude, that's how Gary rolls, man. He's the man like that. Gotta say, I'm obsessed with this 22-year-old cask strength Mortlock. Maybe just beering faster than any bottle he's ever had. Is it an independent? Interesting. Money would be on Glenallachie or Tamdhu. It's hitting the fan. Highland Park Dark Origins is pre-screw top corks from HP. They had screw top corks? My. Chieftain. Okay. Spring make 15 for 60 pounds in the UK on Tyndrum right now with shipping about. That is a good price. Yeah, there's still like 150 here for that. It's crazy. Jesus, yeah. All right. So as y'all can maybe hear in the background, we're having some crazy Midwest summer weather going on here. But we're going to keep it going as long as this can. I'm hoping this doesn't get too crazy. And we got 18 folks in, so let's get into this. All right. So the second bottle, like I mentioned earlier, there were just a couple bottles that had been sitting around that kind of got lost in the mix when I was moving, and I have not yet opened. Let me know if I need to talk louder. One of them here is this one as well. This is the other one. This is Highland Park Dork Origins. So it's got this kind of corny, weird graphic of a, I don't know, it looks like the Unabomber or something. So Dark Origins is 46.8%. This is a non-age statement whiskey. Here's what it has to say. Establishing a secret. This is so Highland Park, y'all. Establishing a secret bunker in the hills of High Park in Orkney, Magnus Mancy Junson became a dark distiller, creating whiskey for the people of Orkney to offer relief from the villainy of the tax collectors. By day, he worked tirelessly in his church, providing spiritual guidance to the people of Orkney, but in the dead of night, handcrafted the best elixir in the world, warming hearts and uniting all who tasted it. Double first fill sherry cask for a naturally darker, richer flavor. There you go. That is the story of the Highland Park Dark Origins. Now, this is from the UK. The availability of this in the US, I have seen it rarely. I believe it is also discontinued. But it's a heavy first fill sherry. It's getting gnarly out there. And so we're going to get this in the glass. Yeah, special sound effects. Windy City indeed. Sounds like my stomach says indeed. Yeah, we're getting... I think we've already had 3 inches since I started talking about the Dark Origins. So here's the bottle. It has the old Highland Park kind of labeling on it, right? Which I really kind of like. It's the old Highland Park tubes, which I also really like. So it doesn't say much else on here other than what I told you. It tells me how much of it I should drink, which I'm not going to listen to, of course. We guarantee this whiskey to be distilled solely from the finest homegrown malt. Okay. It does say non-chill filtered on the bottle. So that's cool. Usually Highland Parks are chill filtered but have natural color. This one says nothing about natural color, but it does say non-chill filtered. Anyways, it's a solid black bottle. I don't know what this is going to look like. I'm assuming it's going to be a dark sherry. 46.8% non-age statement. Highland Park Dark Origins. Let's get this bad boy in the glass. I have heard about this from a lot of folks who swear that it is one of the better Highland Parks. I'm excited for that. It's been a while since I've even done a Highland Park on the show, so let's do this. All right. Okay. We're going to need a little bit more than that. Will this beat the Alba? Just going to go ahead and guess yes. All right. Highland Park Dark Origins. So, yeah, just again to summarize, 46.8%, non-chill filtered, unsure about the color, probably not natural, and it is a non-age statement, discontinued bottle. These run about $100. This is the color, though. So this is what double first fill sherry. So I'm assuming they take it from one, dump it into another at some certain point in time. It's a very nice color. I like it. This is a quick size dram. And I do love me some Highland Park. So let's get after it, y'all. Uh-oh. That was really close. Ooh-wee. All right, let's do this. Oh, yeah. So the first thing I'm noticing about this is obviously the heavy sherry. The heavy, dark, rich fruit. It's like dark cherry. There's some kind of dried fruit here of, you're maybe like kind of plum, maybe something darker, more like prune, raisin. There's like a tartarness. There's a berry, blackberry, like juicy blackberry. But the other thing I'm noticing here, which is the first time I've ever picked this up on a Highland Park, there's a mustiness to this, kind of like a funk that I would say is akin to the Dunnage Warehouses note you get out of like a Springbank or Glen Scotia or Benromic or Kilkerran. There's a little bit of this musty, dusty, dank, damp warehouse thing, which I'm really liking. Get down. This is, I don't think I've ever get this on a Highland Park before. And that kind of heather, so heather is like a sweeter peat, basically decayed heather, which is very prominent in Orkney. Gives it a little bit of a sweeter peat. There's a little bit of it in here, not detecting a lot on the nose. Getting some orange. There's a little bit of that peat, a little bit of smoke, but not a lot. And that honey note that you get off Highland Park a lot is not coming in too much here either. Okay. Oh, man. Juicy plum, grape, maybe even like dark purple, overripe red grapes. All right, let's do this now. Slanch. Mmm. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, man. That's good. That's really good. This is good. This is a good one. One more sip and then we'll talk about it. The first thing I got to mention, this is quite an event. I mean, it's multi-dimensional in its in the experience with this. It arrives rich, but not overly cloying, and not overly sweet, but not bitter. It's like a really just nice dark fruit note mixed with this slightly musty, almost dusty chocolate note. There's a little bit of this effervescence, which I'm assuming is the heather peat, but it's pretty subdued on this. I'm not going to lie. It shows up a bit more in the finish, which I'm going to get to. You get this nice wave after this. It arrives really just juicy, dark fruit. And then you get this nice surge of like, God, it's almost like a raw honey, almost like slightly almondy note. And then you get it again, but it's another hit. And it's like, it brings like, as it goes into the finish, it's kind of like a tropical fruit. There's some orange. There's some, maybe even like pear, fig, I don't know. And then it goes into this finish, which is like, it's like a light roasted cappuccino, malted milk ball, a little bit of dark fruit in the back, and then you get a nice ashiness. There's a slight ashiness to this. That is where I think this Highland Park heather peat is coming in. Long finish. This is a very rich whiskey, but it's a sherry bomb, yes. But this is not like an Abuna. This isn't like a Tamdu batch strength. Like, this is a sherry bomb, but it's tamer, which allows, I think, for a lot of other things to be going on in here. Like the Highland Park distillate is not lost in this whiskey, despite being double matured in first fill. First fill sherry. Wow. I'm impressed. The noses on this is becoming more Highland Park as it goes along. And what I mean by that is the heather honey note, the heather smoke, a little bit of that slight, little bit of the sherry. Highland Park, I find their distillate to be a very kind of universal, like it kind of grabs a little bit of everything. I'm getting more vanilla and stuff now. This is a good one. And a beautiful, nice red color. This is where it's at. 4 out of 5 for sure. For sure. I might even go higher. Holy shit. This is one of the better NAS whiskeys I've ever had. You wish it lasted a little longer, the development. This is really the only thing I can knock it for. It does get into it does kind of fade a little quick, but whatever. I think this is probably one of the better Highland Parks I've had. The one that comes to mind that I think might be comparable to this, and this might sound a little strange to some of y'all, is the 16-year-old Rioja cask finish. There are similarities in the texture. I think this is better. And this doesn't even have an age stamp. Wow, there's like a nice mint still on this finish, which is still going. The finish on this is long. Wow, what a gem this is. Of course they discontinued it, right? They had to put out another Vol something, some other Viking shit. Man, this shit's not playing. This is good. I need another bottle of this. Great texture. Sweet, savory. Oh. I didn't expect this to be quite this good. This one's beating my expectations. I usually find myself a little disappointed in Highland Parks, to be completely honest with you. The 12 I love for what it is. The 18, I know some of y'all are going to call this heresy, but I wasn't that blown away by it. It's good. Wasn't that blown away. The 21, solid. The cast strength that they put out, I actually found that to be underwhelming. I found what's the other one that I did? I've had some samples of like the Val whatevers, all that shit. Yeah, they're fine, but not worth the money. The full volume is one where I'm like still unsure, and I got to get a bottle. How do y'all feel like, for those of you who have had this or had the full volume? If you've never had this, and you've had full volume, is it one of your favorite Highland Parks? For those who have had both, which one do you guys like better? Because I'll tell you right now, I think the 21 might be the best Highland Park that I've bought, and I still like. I liked it, but I didn't like absolutely think it was the most amazing thing ever. I think this one's up there. This one's up in that top. This is in the conversation for top Highland Parks that I've had. Maybe I just need to get some older Highland Parks, but this is really good. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit as we talk through this. Yeah, I mean, my prelim score on this is 4 out of 5. I'm not even kidding. I think if you like a sherry bomb and like Highland Park style, this is a buy without hesitation. Now, I paid, I think it was like $90 some in the UK. If you find this, I mean, this is almost worth it at 100. I think this is probably worth it at $100. It may leave you. I mean, it might be a little bit high, but I think it's worth it for the experience of having a Highland Park of this character. That description of Heather Pete is the perfect description of Highland Park. No other whiskey has the phrase. Does that? Yeah, totally. Curses sounds good. Yeah, it is. Highland Park Cask Strength 2 came out last week. Probably won't be there for a couple months. Looks a little more sherry than 1. Okay, I didn't think 1 was all that special. Unfortunately, I was excited for it. Bought it out by you, High Times. I was in Southern California when I bought that. Man, 1 out of 2 ain't bad in the cork pops, especially when good. Yeah, it's true that. I found mine for 90, and while that is still a lot, I would still buy another, especially the price. Since it was yeah, I would too, for sure. Oh, cheers, Ben. Twisted Tattoo is the 16. Yeah, so that was one that I liked. Like that, the Rioja cask. It was good ABV. It had the age statement. I think it was toe-to-toe with this Dark Origins, and I think this Dark Origins might actually get a little bit ahead of it. Valkyrie. Oh, God, that sucks. That's, yeah, what a bummer that is, man. What a bummer that is. Sorry, y'all. Had a little bit of a, weather. I'm just swimming on the weather. Yeah, I am too. Was the Highland Park 21 you sent me really tropical? Yes. It was the August release. There's a November. No, it was the November. No, it was the August 2019 release. Yeah, it's solid. Pre-23 Island Temperature is better than most. Yeah, I've heard that. I wish I could find one. When I got mine, they also had the pre-Viking Hype Red Label 18. Going to open that for Christmas. Nice, Donner. Daniel says Dark Origin is better than Full Volume. Yeah, I'm agreeing. Full Volume is good, but Dark Origin punches well above its price range for me. I'm agreeing with you on that. Gary says my favorite Highland Park was a 1998 Highland Park 20-year-old by Thompson Brothers. Have you had the Dark Origins, Gary? Not saying it's better than that, but I'd be curious what you thought of it. Never had Dark Origins, but Full Volume is probably my favorite affordable. Yeah. Sample of the 30, which is my, wow. Oh, 30. That's awesome, Andrew. Dark Origins is shared in Full Volume. Has no. Okay, so Full Volume is like the bourbon cask version. Is that one cask strength? I don't remember. Full Volume is one of those that like I see and I'm told I should buy it, but I haven't. What's your opinion on the single cask? Okay, so I have one. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to do it soon, though. In fact, I might be doing it later this year. I've not had any of my others. I have a 12-year-old. It's the – which one is it? It's like the Mid-Atlantic one. It's from when I was in Philly. That's the one I have. I see that they're quite pricey. I mean, they're like, $180, $190 in some places, but I've not had it yet, so I really can't comment. Sorry about that. Yeah. IC said the pre-Viking 8 HP 8 was best for me. I like the current 12 better than the current 18. I think I know what you mean. We have to speak about that in hushed tones though, because people will think we're crazy. I totally hear you. High Times said Highland Park cask strength 1. Yeah. Sit around for an hour in the glass. Yeah, that's right. There you go. Yeah, I think I actually did my review of that when I was out in your neck of the woods. I got it there for that price. I remember I was like, I got to buy this at that price, Stephen Connor's in the house, Tennessee. What's up, buddy? How are you? We are just sipping on the Highland Park Dark Origins, which is currently 2 thumbs up, man. This is quite good. Have you had this one before? Okay. So a little bit higher on the ABV. It looks like the storm has passed, y'all, so we might be past the crisis point here in Chicago. I have samples of HP 25 and 30. Pretty special stuff, but out of my range. Yeah, okay, so I should mention, I did have a sample of Highland Park 25 of an older bottling. It was generously shared with me by Mike at Mike's Whiskey Reviews. I'm sorry, Top Shelf Whiskey Reviews. That was one of the best whiskeys I'd ever had. No doubt, but yeah, I can't afford a bottle of that. Those things are crazy priced. Unnamed Orkneys, yes. Oh, yeah, well, you definitely. I wonder what's in it. I guarantee you, there's some HP love in that. Guarantee it. Folks saying hi to Steven. I have a good one for the price. Just didn't sell well for some reason. Yeah, that's what we've been actually just discussing here. This is my first time opening this and trying it, and I'm actually really impressed with this. This is a 4 out of 5 whiskey for me. I mean, I wish they had more. Delicious and not what I expected for just the first fill sherry. There's some good complexity in this, and the sherry is not as overpowering. I should rephrase it. The Highland Park character of this still has space to shine in this whiskey, even in the neck pour. I'm really impressed with this. And the non-chill filtration. Like, this is one of the better NAS. I did a top 5 NAS whiskeys that you need to try back. Oh, I don't know. This was a couple months ago. I had not had this. Had I, this would have made the list. I mean, probably not number 1, but it would have made the list. Real bummer they didn't continue this. This is one I'm gonna have to look for. But I'll tell you right now. I mean, I'll do a full review of this, but prelim score, man, I feel comfortable sitting at a 4 out of 5 on this, for real. This is a 4 out of 5 star whiskey. Absolutely delicious. Killer stuff. It comes with a little bit of sadness that this is harder to get these days, and that, Highland Park's marketing. I mean, the marketing on this is pretty funny, but it gets even more hilarious as you go into their newer stuff. But this is good. 46.8%. I'll tell you, it's the right way to do. It's the right way to fly here. In contrast to the whiskey we have unopened and uncorked in hour number 1, Abuna Aberlower Alba, which was 57.1, which is hotter than all hell, and it really takes away, at least in the initial tastings, of what I think is some actually solid whiskey underneath here. These folks here at Highland Park did it right with this. They didn't go and jack this up to like 60% or something like that, which would have, or 55, which probably wouldn't have been the right ABV for this. I think this is just where it needs to be. It's really allowing I think the sherry would have overpowered this at a higher ABV. It's really allowing the Highland Park character of this to shine underneath. And again, there's a note in here, which I've never got out of Highland Park, which is this musty Dunnage Warehouse note. Like you get on a Kilkerran. Not as intense on not as much of the intensity that you get on a Springbank. But there's a little bit of that going on here. Like a Glen Scotia, Ben Romick kind of thing. I'm going to have another dram of this. This is going to go quick. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Bring this back, Highland Park. Funny. I do love that they profile that it's non-chill filtered, and yet they don't mention that it's natural color. Highland Park is usually the opposite with that. And they say non-chill filtered here on the bottle too. I mean, they're prominent about the non-chill filtration nature of this whiskey. Says it right there. It says it right there. It says it right here. But it doesn't say anything about natural color, which it usually does. Let me just like scope out the back bottling again one more time. Yeah. Usually they'll have a little thing on the back that says natural color. And it doesn't. I'm going to assume it is, but we don't know, so we can't. We have to probably just assume that it's not. But I guess in the back of my head, I think it probably is. You know, it's funny because Highland Park is actually the distillery that readily admitted that chill filtration strips the quality of whiskey or strips the flavor out of whiskey. They released a promo video on YouTube for their cask strength batch 1, which again, I wasn't the hugest fan of, but the master distiller, his name is, oh God, and it's going to escape me, but he's got this really interesting name for a distiller. Is it on here? I almost feel like his name had master in it or something like that. Yeah, it's not on here. Anyways, it's if somebody knows it, drop it in the chat. But he does these promo videos of like the new Highland Park whiskeys and stuff. And he did a promo video for Highland Park, I believe it was cask strength batch 1. And he says, and it's non-chill filtered, which allows us to retain the maximum amount of flavor in the whiskey. He says that, like literally verbatim, in the promo video, like completely admitting that chill filtration removes full flavor. So you'd think Highland Park would not chill filter anything. They do. They shouldn't, but they do. But yeah, that is. So it's funny, you know, seeing a whiskey of theirs prominently displaying the non-chill filtered nature of it. I guess that's a good thing. I just wish they all were like this. Again, so just to summarize, and we're going to kind of go into a little free-for-all here for the last 30 minutes. I appreciate for folks for hanging out for, you know, we're in an hour and a half. We're going to do 2 hours tonight. We got 21 folks in, which is awesome. Telex is out on vacation. So I've been holding down the fort with a couple whiskeys that have been collecting dust on my shelf that I honestly kind of forgot about. And while one of them I guess in hindsight wouldn't have mind forgetting about again, another one has been a absolute stunning surprise. And that is this Highland Park Dark Origins. So my prelim scores again were 2.75 out of 5 on the Aberlower Abuna Alba and 4 out of 5 on the Highland Park Dark Origins. This is great. I'm just poured a little bit more, and then we'll do a little peated whiskey to close us out. What that's going to be, I'm not clear on just yet, but let's get a little water on this Highland Park and see what happens. We got 23 folks in, which is awesome. Let me catch up here a little bit on the chat. Gonna open this one soon. HP, Jesus, man. Y'all, we need to find where Gary lives. He's gotta take us and let us do a tasting at his house. This dude is just always pulling some stuff out. I might have to do another list of NAS bottles, man. There's no doubt. Oh yeah, you saw that. I saw this one already. Yeah, I might have to do another. Highland Park tends to overdo the history way too often. They need a simpler presentation and fewer releases. Any distillery have more releases than that. Everything Andrew Page said right there, like I would take a highlight or two. I don't know how anybody could afford to keep up with them if they wanted to. Way too many releases, so many. And simpler presentation, totally. Like they went this Viking stuff, and it's like they have the most extravagant stories. I mean, Ardbeg has always been the like the top of the food chain when it comes to excessive stories. But I think Highland Park has overtaken them. I mean, even the one in this Dark Origins is like pretty funny, but this isn't even nearly as elaborate as some of the stuff you see on their other stuff. Like, who comes up with this stuff? Man, I'm getting a nice pineapple cream note on this now. I need to buy many more of these. Anyways, Andrew Page, you're completely right. Speaking of Kilcarron, the new 21 is out really good. 2020 is better. To know. Yeah, Mission doesn't ship outside of California, though, unfortunately. It's a real bummer. If HP brought back Dark Origins, it would be younger and less shared. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Cohen. I don't think they can bring it back and it'll be as good as this. You know how it is. It's like I would love for Ardbeg to bring back Dark Cove. But you know when they do, it's just not going to be the same, and it's going to be kind of a bummer. India's in the house. Kapil, how are you? Good to see you, man. How are things in Delhi? Great to have you here. Good morning. I as well, man. Amir's in the house. I have the K&L pick. First full European 12. Haven't popped it yet. Okay. I've seen that California one. Yeah, let me actually just grab the one that I have. So this is the one that I got. Now I got this when I was out on the East Coast in Philadelphia. So this is the one I have. And so what Highland Park did is they have these single cast releases that they did all across the U.S. by region. Some were like 16-year-old, some were 10-year-old. I don't know. So this is first fill European oak sherry puncheons. There's 568 bottles of it. It is 12 years old, 65.5% ABV. This one is called the Riptide. And let me just take a look here. They also did these in the UK, I believe, because you can get some UK ones. Yeah, so this is the Mid-Atlantic version. Haven't opened it yet. I can't wait to. But it's just not made it. I don't know. You know, I've been off the Highland Parks for a while. I think it was concentrating on that 21, but I will be opening this later this year. So that's the one that I had. I also actually have this Highland Park, which I'm pretty excited about. So this is an independent Highland Park. You can find a lot of indie Highland Parks. This one is Gordon MacPhail. It was filled in 2006, distilled 2020. So it's like a 13-year-old refill sherry cask, 60.3%. So it's a 13-year-old single cask. Connoisseur's choice range, non-chill natural. Excited about that, but that's the extent. I don't actually have many more Highland Parks. It's just a distillery that I've kind of honestly shied away from just because they have just too much stuff. I don't know what to buy. Gerbig says, nice. HP has not colored anything since 26. That's good. 2006. Do the Springbank 12 CS from 20. Are you talking about the 56.1% one with the Burgundy cask? I think I did a live with that, but I was going to probably do a review if that's the one you're talking about. I've forgotten how good this Duncan Taylor Highland Park 19 is. Good to lose stuff sometimes. Yeah. 100% agree with you. Are you talking about this Highland Park? Yeah, I would agree. Although it's a little bit more expensive. Next dram is the 20. Oh, you have the rum cask. Nice, man. I have some other. I have the Bordeaux, and then I have the. What was the one before that? The other, the 2020 Glen Scotia. I don't know. Was it Madeira? It might have been Madeira. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, you and me both. I don't have the 57.1. I have the 56.1. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I have one open. It was like the first ever one they did. There were like 4 different maturations in the Springbank 12. It was sherry, port, bourbon, and burgundy. I don't think it was like the greatest Springbank 12 cask strength I'd had, which is unfortunate because I was really excited about it. But it's good. There will be a review that soon. So thanks for asking, Cohen. Your Dark Origins was more than 70. Yes, I paid like I think 85 for this. Who's UK? Oh yeah, Tawny Port. Thank you, Gary. That's the other Glen Scotia I have, but I've heard nothing but good things about that rum cask. Okay. We got about 25 minutes left. To close things out tonight, I got to bring some peat to the table, and I think what it's going to be is it's going to be this. This is the Octomore 9.2. This one in particular it's 5 years old, and it has is this the red wine Bordeaux or the Sauternes? I don't actually remember. I got to look it up. I believe this is the Bordeaux cask. These second, the 0.2s of Octomore are just like very experimental. I have to look it up because I don't quite recall, but I believe this is the red wine Bordeaux. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's from 2012. Yeah, 4 years ex-bourbon, 1 year Bordeaux. So our friend Donner Pass had me thinking about wine cask finishes when he brought up the Glen Scotias. So I haven't had any of this in a while. I highly recommend. Octomore is one of those releases that I kind of steered away from and was kind of down on. I was thinking to myself, like, this is. I still don't believe their marketing about super peated means much because you really can't taste peat past a certain phenol level. So the fact that this is 156 ppm, where like an Ardbeg 10 or a Lafroig 10 is more like 35, 40. I still think I've had less ppm peated whiskeys that taste more peated than this. That all said, this is bottled at 58.2%, unchill, natural color. Bruichladdich does shit right. And these 0.2 releases, the 0.1s are usually Scottish barley. The 0.3s are usually the Isla barley, and then the 0.2 are kind of like a funky finish. So I also have a 10.2, which is a Sauternes, but they do a lot of experimental stuff at the 0.2 range. This is a wine finish. Octomore. Look at that. Oh boy. There's a freshness to this that is just, it's amazing what they do. And again, I think I've said this before. Octomore is one of these things that has proven to me that even more important than age statements is quality casks. Because quality casks, like what they're doing with 5-year-old spirit or distillate here, is just remarkable. Like, this should not be as good as it is. I do, man. And I was never an Octomore guy. I just was like, Octomore's, not worth the money. I think it is. Especially if you look at the UK, because they're cheaper over there. I'd happily send you a couple samples. I have the 10-year-old edition 2 and the edition 4. I have a couple. I got 6 of them up there. I can't help it. They are as good as I didn't want them to be. There you go. Yeah, cheers, Amir. I'm going to pour some Smoke Wagon. Do it! I was going to do that next week. I have the batch 70 and the batch 75 of the uncut unchill filter. That might be the whiskey I open next week. Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah, the Smoke Wagon stuff. It is what it is. Nate Redmond's in the house. How you doing, brother? Loves Dark Origins. I think just good. I found a place. I was clearing them out for $40. Only grabbed 3. I should have cleaned them out. I'm glad you grabbed 3, man. $40. Wow. What a deal. That's so cool, man. I just had it for the first time tonight, and yeah, if I had known in the past what I know now, this is one of the better Highland Parks I've had. Congrats on getting 3 of those, though, man. That's awesome. Yeah, Dana says, you should have told me that earlier, Elo. I would have waited. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just kind of said it. I've been meaning to do it for a while, brother. I have a couple. I got a couple of them sitting over here. You know, bennies and all that. I haven't opened any, so eventually I'm going to. This is the most recent one that I got. So this is, June 29th. So this is the batch 75. But I also have a batch 70. Yeah, one of these days. Maybe I'll just do it next week. I didn't feel like I wanted to do it as like a profile thing on a happy hour. So maybe we could just I'll just do a little impromptu live one of these days and sip it. Because not a lot of folks can get their hands on it, I don't think. Last one is almost gone, so glad. So they didn't stick around long. Yeah, I mean, I understand it. I get it now, man. I learned tonight. that is not going to stick around long. This is fantastic whiskey. Yep, that's about right, James. You're totally right. Totally. Anyways, so just to give you all a heads up, Telex will be back next week. I know this summer's movie been a little hit and miss. It's just how things go with travel and moving and all of that. So next week, just to give everybody a sense of what's coming, next week Telex and I are coming back with some serious stuff. We are going to be doing Highland Park Fire and Highland Park Ice. So we'll be doing both of those next week. And then in the first week of September, I hope Cohen's still in the house because you're going to want to hear this. Hampton Single Estate Jamaican Rum. Hour number 2, we're doing a 12-year 2008 Foursquare vintage. So we're going to be doing a rum show. I sent some rum samples to Telex, and we're going to be doing a rum show. And then after that, we have a Ben Riach show coming up, Smoky 10 and the 17 Septendecim. So we got a couple fun things coming up. And so, I hope folks can stick around, of course, to check those out starting next week. It'll be a really good time. I'm looking forward to it. I've never had the Highland Park Fire or Ice, but now that I've had the Dark Origin, I got Highland Park on the brain again. This will be the perfect time to do it. Paul says, do you think 195 Canadian for the Ardbeg Scorch 46 is too expensive? Yeah, don't waste your money. It's not that good. It's okay, but I get the impulse. But here's what I would recommend: get yourself a. I don't think since 2016 they have put out a limited release that's been better than Ugadal or Corey Frecken. So I would say that's a better place to spend your money. The Scorch is not as good as the Black was last year. Not as interesting. Nah. Save your money, man. Find somebody who will give you a sample of it if you can. But if not, you will not lose sleep over it. It's just not that great. It's fine. I did a review a couple weeks back, if you want to go check it out, where I did the committee release and the limited release. I think the committee was a 3. The limited was a 3.25 for me. I actually found the limited to be better, which is weird. It's usually not the way it goes, but nah, man. 100. That is a lot of coin. That's a lot of money. You could get many better whiskeys for that. Save it, in my opinion. Daniel says, "Woo." I'm not sure what you're wooing at, but I'm sure I'll figure it out in a second here. Great chat going on with Andrew, Peter, Daniel, and Gary. Great. Rum night. Hell yeah. Peter says, ooh, Hampton rum. Love it. We'll tune in for the rum show. Awesome, man. I can't wait. Telex, I'm really excited to see how Telex responds to this. In particular, Hampton, which I'm going to go out on a limb and classify as the Springbank of rums because it's got a funk all its own. I'm really excited to see that. Haven't opened my 2008. Oh, nice. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, my God. The 2008 Foursquare is, dude, so good. So good. Smoke Wagons 57.69. Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't think I have the same. I think they do different batches in different places, and that's part of it. Chicago doesn't get every batch, I've noticed. At Mount Muser, I can't wait to see Telex drink Hampton Estates. Yeah. Even though it's higher ABV, and it's just the regular Hampton. I didn't send him the Great House, which if you've had, you know, the Great House is that's a rum. That's the rum, one of the rum of rums. That's one of the 4 horsemen of rums. But yeah, it's just the regular Hampton Estates. But yeah, I think Telex is this is gonna fuck his mind up because honestly, that's what it did to me. Like the first time I had Hampton, I couldn't believe it. I had never had anything like that. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. That'll be in 2 weeks. So yeah, mark your calendars. That's that'll be so next week it's Highland Park Fire and Ice, and then Foursquare and Hampton rum. I have to find another bottle of this 9.2. This is only 5 years old, but I am telling you, just delicious. The red wine Bordeaux is so fresh and strong on this, but the bourbon cask provides kind of the body that takes it all the way through. Like you get the shot of heavy red fruits, but then it's the bourbon cask that carries it through. And it's smoky and peaty. Just great stuff. Great stuff. I wouldn't even pay $147. It's just, I would maybe pay one. So the Black Committee release, I'd pay $147 for, but not the limited. The Scorch, I mean, I don't know. I have it. Yeah, I don't drink it that often. I wish I didn't. I wish I wasn't. The problem with I'll just be totally candid with you. The problem with the Ardbeg limited releases for me is that if I walk into a store and see it, even if I've told myself I'm not going to buy it, I'll buy it. And that's because I'm like, oh God, especially if it's committee release. Limited release, I have the self-control. But if I see a committee release, I'm buying it. And that's annoying because I said this year I wasn't going to buy any of them, and I ended up with 2 because I was like, oh God, they're selling it at a good price. I better pick these up. And it's not that good. And the problem with it all is like they haven't put out anything in their limited release range in 5 years that's something to write home about. Yeah, the Grooves was okay. The Kelpie was okay. It's fun to try an Ardbeg that's like, got something new going on in it. But that doesn't mean, but it's not worth the price. The Drum Rum one was disappointing. The Black Pinot Noir was good, but like, is it a $200 bottle good or $350 secondary market good? No. And then they jacked the price up again with the Scorch. And they know that people will pay for it. And if you're willing to pay $140 for a non-aged statement, 46% Ardbeg that's been aged in charred barrels or whatever, then the one that they come out with next year is going to be $160. And they keep doing this. And it just is what it is. I don't begrudge anybody who does it. As I said, I'm a victim of it with committee releases, for sure. But none of them have been worth it since the Dark Cove. When you can get what I think are two of the best peated whiskeys you can buy in Corey Vrecken and Ugadal at sub $90, why we would pay that much pay $140 for a non-age statement Scorch or Black or whatever is, a testament to their marketing skill. And, it's not a value judgment on us as people. It's just, we want to try new whiskeys, and they know that. But sooner or later, we have to just be like, that's insane. I'm not going to pay that. And I failed this year. I hope not to fail next year. In the meantime, the Octomor's killing it. Come here, buddy. Are you stuck? Come here. Oh, I'm sorry, man. He got stuck. Winston the Whiskey Cat. Say hello. With your floofy tail. Would you sit down? Yeah. He crawls into spaces and then can't get out of them. Go figure. That's what happens when your brain is the size of a pea. I'm a bit far behind on the chat. What's up, Winston? Yeah, we got another second Winston sighting. Corey Vrecken in QC is the same price as I'd still get the Corey. Definitely get the Corey over the Scorch. There's nothing that interesting about the Scorch. It's okay. Cheers, Gary. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad whiskey. It's just not worth the price. I get it's expensive to do what they did with it, but it's, the Ardbeg Black committee release was quite good. The Ardbeg Black limited release was awful. It had no finish at all, and it was $135, $140 bottle. It was insane. We did a Telex and I did a tasting of that. I mean, I couldn't believe how bad the limited release Black was. And they wanted, I think I was wrong, it was more like 120. But now the Scorch, good luck finding that for less than 140. Sooner or later. Yeah, oh, of course. They know. And I don't begrudge Ardbeg for doing it. I just, we all have to collectively stop paying for this shit. Because it never meets the hype. Dark Cove was the only one that met the hype. And it met the hype exponentially. Kelpie, Grooves, like $120 for the Grooves committee. Then it was like, now it's $150 for the committee Scorch. What are they going to come out with next year? It's going to be a tequila finish or a Sauternes finish, and it'll be $165 for the committee release. Oh, well, it's only $10 more. I'll buy it. Before you know it, we're going to be spending $200 on this. It's like Wee Beastie with a finish, You little bastard. Anyways, enough ranting about that. It is. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, those are both fantastic. The Old Forester 1910 and 1920 are some of the better. Those are some of my favorite bourbons ever. Has it? I hope so. I give credit to everybody for putting out the 5H statement on the Wee Beastie. You need bottles sometimes pull it off. Yeah. I agree with you on that. I mean, they deserve some credit for that. And they put it out with a good ABV as well. I mean, it's just too bad that I would rather, I'll pay the extra $5 for the 10. But yeah, I mean, I give them props for that. Winston can get out of space as UNC capital tour. Truth. You speak truth. You prefer it over the 10, huh? Wow. Okay. Right on. Well, then you found yourself the dram of, that's a huge win for you then. Well put, IC86. Okay. Really? 1910 was not your jam? The thing about the 1910 was that I found like there's seldom that you come across a whiskey that's so good right out of the bottle. I think the 1920 is still better, but 1910 was quite good, I thought. It was the double barrel quality of it. Unfortunately not, my man. Unfortunately not. I actually got to wrap things up when we get to the top of the hour. I would go longer, but it is Tuesdays are, I still got to get up and work tomorrow. I can't drink too much. Plus, I got to make a phone call, but goddamn, I am loving the sock tomorrow. I drink so much 10, I grew tired of it. Citrusness began to bug you, huh? Had an opinion and he's wrong at the same time. I'm just kidding, Andrew. Paul, check out new Scotch releases in Alberta. A ton of IBs at horrible prices. Tons of Waterford as well. I haven't tried any of the Waterford stuff yet. Does anybody have any strong opinions about Waterford? They're expensive. I know they're like jumping on the terroir thing with both hands, which is okay. But does anybody have a strong opinion on Waterford? Dude, yeah, Gary. You're talking my language right there. I'm game for that. I don't know what to do with this Waterford thing. Do I spend $95 or $100 some on like one of these bottles? Are they worth it? Which one? There's so freaking many. I don't know what to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. Personally, I don't think I have any desire to ever drink Wee Beastie again. I like it more than Anno. I think Anno is the worst thing Ardbeg puts out in their core range. I don't even think it's close. But that's just me. Excellent. Cohen, I dig it. Okay, so you do have one of the Waterford releases. What's the deal, man? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm never going to not buy Redbreast 12 cask strength because I'm not crazy. Redbreast 12 cask strength is one of the best whiskeys ever. Especially, like, it seems to me, like, some of the newer ones are not quite as amazing to me as, like, I think the first one I had, which would have been 2017. But we're splitting hairs. That is absolutely stellar whiskey. Stellar whiskey. Nice. No interest in Waterford, says Peter White. Daphne, maybe. Okay, so not much energy on the Waterford thing. Okay, look, I know there were people in Whiskey Tube that were like hyped on it when it came out, which made me wonder if like it was strategic in some way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if people work with distilleries or not, and I'm not suggesting that they do. I'm merely stating that I saw a bunch of people talking about Waterford at the same time, and I thought, oh, I wonder if Waterford's been reaching out to people to talk about their whiskey. I personally see it, and it's like $95 for these NAS bottlings, and they're supposed to be all like, you know, they hype up their organic nature, and it's from this single farm, which, again, I do agree that terroir exists. Sorry, but I do. The degree that it exists varies on the quality of your palate, which takes time to develop. But I do think terroir exists. But for folks who don't know, that just literally means that where the barley is grown and the strain of barley has a measurable impact on the flavor of the spirit. I think it's true. But this Waterford stuff, which is an Irish whiskey, and I love me some good Irish whiskey, is kind of like their whole thing is that they are from single farms. They all got their different strains of barley and whatever, probably temperature or climate, rather, not temperature, has some effect on this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they have a bunch of releases, but I don't know anything about them. I admittedly have read a little bit, but someone of y'all's got to tell me the deal. If I buy a Waterford, which one do I buy? Or is it not worth buying at all? I'll tell you what is worth buying. Octomore 9.2. I'm just saying. It's crackish. Strathmill 14 Signatory. Nice. Louis BC tastes young, but I think that it has a charm to it. It is spirit driven. Perhaps I drink too much. My last bottle of 10 I drank was bland. I'm tired of it. Yeah, you switch it up, man. Get yourself some Corey Vrecken, man. That'll knock some sense into those taste buds. It's like I think I described it in my review as like a gaggle of hornets just assaulting your tongue. That's what I think of when I think of Corey Vrecken. Waterfords are around 90. Wow. Well, you guys are getting deals on them. Yeah. That sounds good. I've been hammering away on the 5 mosaics, but reported 10 today. It's almost like rediscovering it. Sorry, I didn't actually catch that. I think the peated sherry Ben Nevis is my right choice. I have a Ben Nevis. I mean, I have the regular 10. I got to do this one of these days. I just want to share this with you guys. So I got this one probably not so long ago. Hi, Lindsay. Yeah. This is so Whiskey Base, the website, has its own kind of independent bottler called Archives. And they're quite nice looking. This is a 21-year-old Ben Nevis, single cask, 96.4%. I believe it's all bourbon cask. Unchill filtered, natural color. Yeah, it's a hogshead. I think it's bourbon. 21-year-old Ben Nevis. I found this at a Binny store here in Chicago, Illinois. So I'm looking forward to opening this one of these days. Probably sooner than later, because this will probably end up being a Telex and I show, because I also have a Ben Nevis 10. So it would make sense to do a Ben Nevis show on this. But I don't know what to think about this, but I'm looking forward to it. All right. What else is going on here? Vegas Art. Somewhere out in the desert. What's up, brother? I got my first Octomore $1.49. 10.3. Excellent. That's a great pour. That's the Isla Barley one. I have one of those, actually. Great to see you, Vegas Art. Glad you could join, man. Awesome to have you here. Folks saying hi. Little Sherry makes the modern Ben Nevis distillate sing, says Stephen Connor. All right. Ben Nevises are not easy to come across. That's why I picked up this 21, because it was sitting on the shelf at Binny's here in Chicago, and I was like, what am I going to do? Leave that there? No. I'm going to pick it up. Well, y'all, just to reiterate, on the two uncorkings that I did tonight, the clear winner is this bad boy. The one with Ted Kaczynski on top on the silhouetted in here, Highland Park Dark Origins. Minus the corny pick art graphic, this is a killer whiskey. Unfortunately, discontinued, but still available, according to many folks here. So I would highly recommend looking for this. This is a 4 out of 5 prelim score for me. Highland Park Dark Origins killer. The disappointment so far, but I think there's some love here. Eventually, we'll see. I'll do a full review. Aberlower, Abuna, Alba. Cask strength, bourbon cask, Aberlower. What? Bourbon? Yes, bourbon. 57.1, batch 1. This is a 275 for me. Very hot. Hotter than most whiskeys I've ever had. I think there's some good stuff underneath, but unfortunately, even with a bunch of water, it took a lot of water to get that to a nice drinking level. So unfortunately, that's what it is. And we got 25 folks in, and I know I'm over time, which is funny. So maybe I should keep going. Should I keep going? Maybe I'll do one more dram. I do need to get a water refill, though, if I do. The storms have passed here in Chicago. It is now back to balmy weather. I do have a little bit more. Maybe I'll do one more dram. All right, I'm into it. Y'all sit tight while I quick shuffle my way into the other room to get some water and take a quig, and then we'll do one more dram and hang out for a little bit longer, man. Be right back, y'all. What's up? Okay, so since I've went down the road of peat, I'm going to need another peated whiskey. So I'm actually going into what's left of my archive of incredible samples sent by a great friend of the show and Patreon supporter, Mr. Andrew Page. And he has sent me a decent amount of stuff here, and I'm looking to see if there's any peated versions of anything. Oh! Yeah, this is the way to go. I found it. We're going to do another peated whiskey. One more to wrap up Tuesday. Okay. What I got here is a sample from Andrew Page. Again, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you and your generosity. This is a Kilchoman 14-year-old single cask, Impacts Cask Evolution Special Edition, first fill bourbon, 53% ABV. The 32nd cask ever to be filled at Kilchoman, it says. This is no joke. So, much like Glengoyne, I find Kilchoman to be a very hit and miss distillery. Let's see how this one stacks up. First fill bourbon, 14-year Kilchoman. Andrew Page, you are a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you so much in advance for sending this my way. Let's see what's going on. Okay, Kilchoman. Fruity. Golden yellow fruits. Pears and apples, oh my. Nice cinnamon nutmeg spice. And there's the toffee butterscotch buttery quality of a first fill bourbon cask. It's there right behind the nice effervescent peat. Not smoky, not very smoky, very peaty though. There's a difference. Winston, settle. Ooh. I mean, this is probably the oldest Kilchoman I've ever had. 14 years old, single cask, ex-bourbon. I don't know, Andrew. The last single cask you sent me, I think when I was out in California, I was like, wow, this is not what it was. A sherry one. It definitely did not rise to expectations. Let's see how this one does. I'll be curious what you thought of this. Kilchoman, again, not one of my bread and butter distilleries. I do find them to be rather hit and miss for my palate. I appreciate and respect what they're doing and their quality. They just don't always do it for me. There are plenty of distilleries. I'm sure we all have them. That just don't always hit the spot for you, despite your respect for them. Glengoyne is one for me as well. There's a nice gingerbread quality to this. This is making me feel like it's time to start drinking. I mean, you know, we've had some warm-up drams. Maybe it's time to just start drinking. I wish that was the case. Too bad it's a Tuesday. Okay, here we go. Kilchoman, let me just say this again. 14-year-old single cask, 53% Impacts Cask Evolution, first fill bourbon. This was bottled in 2020, 32nd cask ever filled at Kilchoman. From our comrade, Andrew Page. Sláinte, my friend, I appreciate you. Thank you for all the great support. And let's check this out. Winner, winner. Woo-wee. Okay. Yeah, this is killer. This is killer. Okay. Andrew, are you still in the house? If you are, what was that one that you sent me back last time? There was another single cast that was just like, and you also were like, I think you also thought it was a little suspect. This one, full flavor. You're talking, you got the nice creamy viscosity that you get off a nice first fill bourbon cask. Nice, heavy, clean peat hit. Effervescent, yes. Smoky, sort of. The ashiness comes in a bit more at the end. You get a nice surge right before it goes into the finish. You get this nice surge of like caramel, toffee, and like a eggnog, like nutmeg covered eggnog. Here he is. I mean, if that was a bourbon cask, the difference between these two is exponential because this is the one I'm doing. This is the Impact Cask Evolution. I know. It was like, fuck, man. It was in November. Take it easy, Gary. Peace. Oh. Kilhoman 14. Yes, it was a Kilhoman 14. Comrade. Socialismo or muerte. Yes, this is true. This is true, Cohen. This is true. Yes. I don't blame you on that Vegas art. Although, if you ever get a chance to try the 25, it'll change your mind. But I totally get it. It's too thin. Glengoyne's too thin. Now, the 12, which I'm going to do a review of on Friday, is a pleasant surprise. The 15 was also great, but their 10 and their 18 to me are disappointments. The 15 is sadly, I believe, discontinued. Never, dude. I didn't either. Well, Andrew Page here is the man. I like that one. A little pricey. Whoa, 200. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, for the rareness, right? This is really good. I don't. Yeah, I got nothing negative to say about this. The bourbon notes are heavy. Their influence is right where it needs to be. The peat is there. It's not as smoky as it is peaty, which is very Kilhoman for me. You get the more campfire smoke notes kind of towards the back end of this. That's what's happening here. It's not even that ashy. Again, 14 years old though. Phenols go down. This is quite tasty. This reminds me in certain ways of Corey Brown. My cat's hairballing behind me. Winston, where are you running off to? God. Kitten. He's not even a cat. He's a kitten. And this is why he's such a psychopath. This reminds me of Corey Vrecken in how much it attacks. Now, it doesn't have that virgin oak element to it, but this is a really nice Kilhoman. I really can't wait until they start putting out age statements. I'm wondering if they're going to do age stated Loch Gorms, which I think, by the way, is the best thing out of their core range. The Loch Gorm is fantastic. I've had some cast strength versions of the Mocker Bay, which I think are really, really good. The Sand Egg has never been one of my favorites, but I also really like the 100% Isla. But this takes the cake. This is... How you doing? You feeling okay? This one is really, really good. Let's see what Winston thinks. He's like, niet. I do not like this smoky whiskey. This whatever this is better than the last one we had. I don't remember what it was. Got it. Okay. Oh. I would be interested in the PX. Has anybody else had that new Kilhoman PX? I saw that. I was tempted by it, but I didn't buy it. Yeah, I'd be interested. Hit me up on an email. I'd be game to do a sample swap with you. I definitely have a couple things. I think the 2021 Loch Gorm is 10 to 11-year-old casks. At least they put the cask years on the tag hanging on the bow. Oh. Has anybody had the 2021 Loch Gorm? I mean, again, the Loch Gorm is the like fully sherried, heavily peated Kilhoman, which I have found to be their best. The one that I like the most, at least. Okay, y'all. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this. Realizing that I've went about 30 minutes over. I wish I could hang out longer, but unfortunately I can't. I have some things to attend to. Glengoyne 12 review will be popping up on Friday. Telex will be back next week. We're doing Highland Park Fire and Ice. Super appreciate you all for hanging out. I absolutely love the whiskey chat and enjoy talking about all of these fine whiskeys with you guys. This has been a lot of fun. Smash that thumbs up before you head out. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love to entice you to do so. Would be very much appreciated. Patreons, look for my next whiskey review, which will be in your email inbox at some point in time tomorrow. And until we see each other again, everybody stay safe, be well, wear a mask, avoid getting COVID. I don't want to hear any bad stories. And slanch.